Hi. Hi, everybody. Okay. I have to try and keep my train of thought here focused today. First off, happy Beltane. Don't really know much about it, but I know it's today. And I know that there is a lot of beautiful ritual that's involved in this day. Um, and in the welcoming, I think, of the spring. I'm going to have to read up about it tonight. So that's number one. Sending that out to everybody. And I think I just wanted to hop in here really quickly because within the last 24 hours, I've kind of experienced a huge shift um, in my own sort of definitions and understanding of spiritual awakening and what it truly means to be present and to be joyful. So wanted to talk about that, and also the concept of, sorry, I need to close that, otherwise that might happen a lot during this call. I also wanted to talk about the concept of divine timing too. So first thing is, and I talked about this briefly yesterday, is the idea of, like, I just had such it was like a crashing, I just said columbling, a crashing, crumbling of my sort of viewpoints. So in terms of like what it means to fully be here, what it means to be present, and what I aspire to be. So as of literally 24 hours ago and my whole life, I was always seeking something. And I still have moments of that where I'm like, oh, once I have Crown Jewels published and it's out and into the world and I'm with someone, and I am 30 Days of Authenticity is up and running, or I'm traveling the world, whatever. All these future things that don't exist in my current moment in time. I'm not saying they won't ever exist, but are they part of my current physical reality right here and now? No. Crown Jewels is not published yet. I am in union with myself. Um, Anyways, not diving into that kind of worms. 30 Days of Authenticity will be up and running in August, and I'm back home in Seattle until we can all sort of emerge and start traveling again. So all four of those things are not part of my current physical reality. And as of 24 hours ago, it was like, I will feel so fulfilled when X, Y, and Z, right? So when I'm, whatever, traveling the world, we'll just use that one as an example. But what's happened to me in the last 24 hours is that all came sort of crumbling down. And at first it was really hard, and it still kind of is, because I feel like the concepts haven't even fully landed or sunk in yet. But this all came from my diving into the work of Jeff Foster, who I've talked about a few times here. And he just really, or his work, I should say, or his speaking, his channeling, although it is him too, has really sort of shifted all of that, because what he talks about is, it's not about this future ideal state. So whether that's, I'm never sad because I've constantly in alignment with my higher self, or what I was doing, I'm a published author who is now traveling the world with my beloved, putting on whatever, and walking people through my own work. Like I kept projecting myself into this future state of, I will feel fulfilled, I will feel happy, I will feel like I'm living my purpose, I will feel like I'm in a true alignment when this other thing that doesn't exist right now in my present reality happens. And what I've woken up to is that it's not about that. It's not about imagining how happy I'm going to be when this future occurrence comes. Like true joy, which was the other aha I got this morning through another class with him. Sorry, I'm like, here's my earth crystal and here's Nefertiti. True joy doesn't come from envisioning myself in a future state. It comes from fully being present and being with myself right now. So in this moment. And I've done that today. I was in this class with Jeff Foster. I just got out of this beautiful ritual for Beltane. I'm recognizing that I'm tired. Like I was supposed to go to my friend Sarah's this weekend, and I just realized I need to just rest and be with myself. And it's like true presence, true joy comes from being. I wish I had my notebook. I don't know if I wrote it in here. I'm hoping that I did. Oh yeah, I did. Thank you. It comes from the full commitment to being in it. So I know that doesn't make any sense. So joy, right? Happiness, fulfillment, but joy specifically, what he talked about is it's about like being in your present moment and honoring wherever you're at, even if where you're at is uncomfortable. So that's happened a lot for me. Like my heart is like, I have reached this like level of awakening that I thought I've experienced it before, but it's not as embodied and not as present as it is now. So basically, I've never experienced the depth of what I am currently experiencing. And part of me is like, I can't find words to describe it, but there's just like such the sense of like wonder and amazement and gratitude and appreciation. But then other parts of me are just like, is this going to last? Am I going to be able to sustain this? Is this real? Is this actually happening? Is my world going to come crashing back down all over again? Because that's happened before. So he was talking about how, number one, it's not about this future state. It's about whatever is going on for you right now and being in that. And then the joy isn't like, what our standard definition is, but it's being fully committed to whatever you're feeling in the current moment and being willing to lean in and experience the uncomfortable. So like when I'm talking about my heart right now and I'm talking about the wonder and the awe, it's also being okay with the achiness and the fear and the uncertainty and the it's like part of me wants level ground, but there isn't level ground. That just doesn't, it's like I have to be willing to stay in this state knowing that I don't know what's actually gonna happen. Is my heart gonna get broken? I don't know. Do I feel more alive than I've ever felt? Yes. So it's sort of, the joy comes from committing to the true, authentic feeling. And for right now, for me, it's a state of wonder currently, but there are moments where it's totally a state of like anxiety and fear. And so that was it's been so eye-opening and like it's like a tower moment, I don't know if anybody studies the tarot, but it's like a total tower moment where like the way I viewed the world and the way I viewed what I was seeking has totally shifted, not from this future state when I actually have my work published and it's out there and like what have you, but to really just being with myself right now and honoring and leaning into all of my emotions and all of my presence, no matter what that is, whether that's excited about the wonder that I feel, or it's anxiety and a little bit of fear because This is literally like, I feel like every single step I take is like a brand new step, like literally a brand new step. Um, so there's that. There's that. There's the idea that I've realized that it's not about future perfect Maria. It's about honoring Maria where I'm at right now. And then the other thing that's been really showing up in my life recently is the idea of timing, right? And the right timing. This has surfaced in conversations I've had and just in my own life. Like, I feel like I've gotten so much better with releasing that. But me 3 years ago, I operated by my own sense of time. I wanted everything. I set my sight on something. I wanted it and I wanted it right now. And when it didn't happen right now, um, I was devastated. I was either pissed or I thought there was something wrong with me. And it was like this happened over and over and over in so many different ways of my life. Or I was doing it freaking last week actually with my trying to build out the sales funnel and I want it launched and I want it launched like immediately. And why can't I figure this all out? And why can't I figure, like what stressed me out last week was I was literally trying to figure out my distribution plan for a physical journal that I haven't even created yet. Like the journal doesn't exist. So why am I stressing myself out on how I'm going to get it to people who are going to eventually purchase it when the product doesn't even exist in the current moment in time? So it's like I needed, like, the concept of divine timing has been huge right now because it also gives me a sense of peace. It like tied into the whole trust thing I was talking about on my podcast, where it's like I've realized that it's not up to me, that even though I have my own sense of time and when I want things, like I might not be ready for them. Or there might be something else that like needs to happen before whatever that thing is that I'm telling myself I want, like right now in this current moment, I can have the full appreciation for it. Or I might need to have something else come into my awareness before something else happens, and I might not even want what it is that I think I want right now in this current moment in time. So it's like this concept and like the idea of um, holding on to the vision, like still doing that, but really letting go of what specifically it has to look like, as well as when. And not getting, which is, this is like my lesson right now. This is totally like my lesson. Like letting go of establishing my own timeline and then being disappointed or whatever, or establishing my own expectation and then being disappointed if it doesn't happen. So I will give an example of this actually because this is pretty relevant. So we're doing 30 Days of Love. And I'm almost done. I promise I'll finish after this. We're doing 30 Days of Love with Intention Inspired. I will link the course down below because it's amazing and life transforming, just like this Jeff Foster course that I'm currently in. Different ways, but just a super powerful course. Anyways, I have been struggling for a few weeks now because I know the power of this course, like my own life, has shifted and transformed completely as a result of it, and going through it, because it's all about you getting to know you and tuning into what love is and what love isn't for you. So I'm fully aware of how powerful it is, and we're starting it today on May 1st, and in my head, I was telling myself, oh my God, we need like 1 million people. Well, not 1 million, but I wanted a good chunk. I know how powerful this course is. I know how transformative it can be. Like, I know that it's going to be amazing. Or even like who my accountability partner for the particular course is going to be. It's like, oh, it's going to change all of us so much and blah, 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 which I'm sure it still will and all of that. I'm not saying that, and I know I'm not making any sense. Anyways, I had in my mind who I wanted to go through the course and the quantity. Like, I wanted, if only a certain this many people, then it will be like successful or whatever, right? And in the concept of divine timing, like what allowed me, so that was Maria, the Maria timeline, the Maria point of view. What allowed me to really surrender and make peace with it was realizing that, like, I don't know when it's right for people to find this course. Like, they need to be in the right frame of reference to be open to it, to receiving everything that it has to offer, to really have the impact that it need, or that it could potentially have on their lives. And I don't know that. Like, yes, okay, I'm going through it on May 1st, 2020, but does that mean that every single person in the entire world needs to go through it on May 1st, 2020? No. And so what allowed me to release it and realize, hold on to my intention and my vision, but in a way that made sense and wasn't like sort of draining me, because I was too caught up in my sense of what things, when things needed to happen, was releasing it into the idea of the right people will find it at the right times. And that made it, and will experience personal transformation from it. And that was just like a huge, like, because it's true, right? And I can't control who those people are and when they take the course, and, the level of transformation that they may or may not receive. But by speaking those words and really believing that, like, I'm releasing it to the infinite, to the divine, so that way it does all work out in the way that it's supposed to and the way that makes sense for the most people, so I can still hold on to my vision of the impact and the power that I know this course can have, but I'm releasing my expectations and my timing of when. So, don't really know if I'm making sense here. This is like the story of my life within the last week. I'm like trying to articulate all of these waves of consciousness that are coming into my being, and I'm not sure if I'm doing a good job, but I'm trying. So it's the main things today are, I've realized that it's not about imagining some future Maria that is living the life of Gabby Bernstein, because that's how I see myself in 5 years, 10 years. Like, that's not about, like, yes, I still hold on to that, right? I still aspire someday to be the Maria Vandenberg version of Gabby Bernstein. But it's not my present moment, right? Is about fully appreciating and being there for myself in my here and now. Like, truly being present to what's going on within me. So whether that's feeling inspired to jump on here and record this video, or go on to make some tea once I'm done with this, which is exactly what's going to happen. And then also paying attention to my level of expectations in terms of like just things I'm telling myself, with timing or with whatever it might be. So the Maria version of reality versus like the divine version of reality, and paying attention to when I am caught up in my own mind and my own story, and potentially limiting the limitless potential of all there is. So yes, so that's my current moment in time. This is a rather long video, so I'm sorry about that. I will post the link to 30 Days of Love down below if you would like to join us and it feels like it's the right time. Love to see you there. If not, that's okay too. Sending love and light to you guys. I hope all is well out there. I love you. Take care of yourselves, and I will speak with you soon.